the probability of flu symptoms for a person not receiving any treatment is 0.046. In a clinical trial of common drug used to lower cholesterol, 53 of 1,077 people treated experienced flu symptoms. Assuming the drug has no effect on the likelihood of flu symptoms, estimate the probability that at least 53 people experience flu symptoms. What do these results suggest about flu symptoms as an adverse reaction to the drug? So we want to first identify the values of N, P, and Q given that a person not receiving any treatment. So the sample size, N, is equal to 1,077. The probability of not receiving a treatment is 0.046, and to find the complement of that, 1 minus 0.046 is 0.954. Now we want to calculate the values of N times P and N times Q. Well, recall that N times P has to be greater than or equal to 5, and N times Q has to be greater than or equal to 5. So N is 1,077 times P, which is 0.046, gives us 49.542, which is greater than 5. 1,077 times Q, which is 0.954, gives us 6.875, and that is also greater than 5. Therefore, the normal distribution can be used to approximate this discrete probability. Now we want to be able to find the mean and the standard deviation. The mean is equal to N times P. Standard deviation is equal to the square root of N times P times Q. So the mean is 1,077 times 0.046, which gives us a mean of 49.542. Standard deviation is equal to the square root of 1,077 times 0.046 times 0.944. We get the square root of 47.263068. Rounding that to 6 decimal places gives us 6.874814. Now what we want to be able to do is draw a normal distribution that's centered about the mean of 49.542, and then draw a vertical strip area centered over x equals 53. Since it is at least 53, we include 53 and above we shade to the right of the continuity correction. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to draw our bell curve. Okay, we know that the mean is 49.542, and we know it's at least 53. So we're going to go ahead and draw 53 here. Okay, so that means we're going to have to include 53. So if we have to include 53, then that means that we're going to then include the continuity here that's to the left of that, and then it's going to be greater than that value. So the continuity correction again represents a discrete whole number x by the interval of x minus 0.5 and x plus 0.5. So to make sure we include 53, we're going to take 53 and subtract 0.5, and therefore that's going to give us 52.5. And so what we're interested in is now shading everything that's to the right of 52.5. So again, since it's at least 53, it includes 53 and above, so we're going to shade to the right of 52.5. Now the next thing we want to do is find the z-score of 52.5. So we know the mean of a z-score is 0, and now we want to be able to find the z-score of 52.5. So we know that the mean is 49.542. We know the standard deviation is 6.874814. Let's plug it into our z-score formula. So we get 52.5 for x minus the mean of 49.542 divided by the standard deviation of 6.874814, which gives us 0.430254, and rounding that to 2 decimal places gives us 0.43. So if we come up here, we want to be able to use the z-score of 0.43 and then find the area to the right of that. So now in step 7, we want to be able to use StatCrunch to find the area to the right of that. So in order to use StatCrunch, we go to Stat, calculators and scroll down to normal. We know that the mean is 0, standard deviation is 1, and then we want to change the inequality to be greater than. And then we're going to put in the z-score of 0.43 and then select compute. And therefore we're going to get the following probability. So we want to round that to 4 decimal places, which gives us 0.3336. So the area to the right of that z-score is 0.336, round to 4 decimal places. So the probability that at least 53 people experience flu symptoms is 0.3336. Now in part B it says interpret the probability. So the high probability, which is 0.3336 of at least 53 users of the drug having flu symptoms, indicates that it is reasonable to expect X to be at least 53 when P is equal to 0.046. So we would say that the drug has no effect on flu symptoms because X being greater than or equal to 53 is not highly unlikely.